All right. Hi, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. How's it going? Welcome back. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one. Another live, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 100. 100. 100. The centennial episode. Wow. Well, what do you know? Thank you for joining me here. Really appreciate seeing all of you. How's it going, eh? So, as mentioned, episode 100 tonight, we're looking at Canada's Percé Rock. We're looking at Percé Rock, Roche Percé. Some of you might be like, what are you talking about there, Frankie? And some of you others might be like, yes, Percé Rock. This simply goes back to my childhood, actually. When I was just a wee little nipper, I think four or five. I want to say 4 years old. Family road trip. Volkswagen Beetle. Dad behind the wheel. White knuckle in it. From Montreal out to Percé in Gaspé. In the far eastern Quebec there, bud. To go and check out this big rock out in the Atlantic Ocean out there. So that's Percé Rock, the Percé Rock. That's what we're going to be looking at here tonight on the show. So thank you very much for joining me here. Appreciate it as always. If you haven't already, consider giving a fellow one of these. Just kind of helps to push me out into the thing as we make our way to 2,000 subscribers. We're almost at 1,800. A couple to go here. So yeah, that's pretty good. Appreciate that. Thank you to everybody who's already subscribed and shared. A big tip of the hat and a howdy to everybody on the YouTubes and on the Bumble. We're broadcasting simultaneously live. Both the YouTubes and, the over on the green fighting platform, the Bumble, that rhymes with Bumble. It's so stupid that I have to disguise what I'm saying, but you know what I'm getting at. Anyway, links below for the Bumble, the BitChute, my social media over on MeWe. A guy's email's down there, so if you want to get a hold of buddy, you get some cool pictures from somewhere up in Canada land or just in general. Show ideas. I try to keep it Canadian content, but sometimes, a guy's got to jump the border and go and look elsewhere, see? So yeah, feel free to shoot a guy an electronic mail. That's what email stands for, apparently. My location map is on there as well. Cousin Vinny's brainchild. You just click on that link. It takes you to the goggle machine and you see a bunch of my icons. A bunch of these here things. All over the map. You click on that. Links you to a video. Boots on the ground. And, guys, PayPal is there too. So if you want to donate to the Beer, Donut, and Manicure Fund, beauty. Thank you. Speaking of thank you very much to everybody who's shooting in and watching this after the fact, after the live. Appreciate your support as well. Because you know what? I know. It's like, wow, 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours. Take it easy, buddy. That's a big chunk of time there, Frankie. So I appreciate you setting aside some of your time here to watch the show after the live. But speaking of live, let's say howdy to everybody in the box here in the chat on this Sunday, January the 12th, 2025. Exactly 0 Celsius on the nose. which I think is around, what, 25, 30 Fahrenheit. Whatever water freezes at in Fahrenheit. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, exactly 0 Celsius right now. Wasn't bad today. A little chilly, a little windy. But the breeze technically is a warm wind. It was above 0. I'll take that for mid-January around these here parts. Here, Calgary, Alberta, up in Canada land in the winter. For sure I will. Anyway, let's say howdy and see who's here. Thanks again for joining me, by the way, on this Sunday fun day. Kathy's here. Good to see you, Kathy. Jassy Nick's in the box. Hello, hello. Title. Hey! Hey, you. Yeah, no, you. Yeah, you. With the hat. Title's here. Good to see you, Title. Trampus Bowmaster. Howdy from New Denmark. New Brunswick, Canada land. New Denmark. Huh. Not sure I've ever, don't ever remember hearing of New Denmark, but howdy. Welcome. There he is. Vaughn in the box. Hello. Hippie's here. Hippie Shake. Good to see you, Hippie. Mr. Beast fan. Just shooting in to say, hey. Just shooting in to say, hey, eh? Okay. Scott Bike is here. Howdy, Scott. How's it going? Eric's here as well. Thanks for shooting in. Cousin Vinny's over here. Hey, how you doing? Cousin Vinny. Because you know how it goes here at New West Reset, right? You get Cousin Vinny, you get Frankie Fingers. That's right, Frankie Fingers over here. So now you know what I'm talking about with the whole New West Reset thing. No. What? No. What I said about Frankie Fingers. Oh. The Frankie Fingers and New West Reset are the same. Wait, what? Lost and found history rewritten. Hello. It happens. I've done that. Vaughn's done that. It's a thing. Corey Ash is here, F&A, Frankie. Hello. Digital archaeology. Over on the Bumble, shooting in. Thank you and howdy and welcome. Babylon Fox is here in the box. So thanks for winding down your weekend. Here with yours truly, everybody. Appreciate it. So we're going to look at this Percé Rock, the pierced rock over there. As mentioned, like my folks, the parental units, old mama and daddy. Pretty sure they've been there a few times, just back when they were dating and early on, even before, I came along. I came into the scene and ruined everything, ruined their free-spirited ways. Anyway, just kidding. They used to take, the first time I went camping, I was 2 weeks old. What do you think of them apples? I was born mid-June, and July 1st, Canada Day, long weekend. That's right, our Independence Day is called Canada Day, eh? Anyways, it took me camping. In a tent, no less. Not even a motorhome or an RV or a, whatever you want to call them. Caravan. It's for me, ma. Periwinkle blue. Anyway. So yeah, this place is wacky and weird and crazy. Anyways, what do you say we quit jabbering on and get down to it here? We're going to start, of course, with the see what the Wikipedia has to say. I mean, there's not much they can fudge with, quote unquote history when it comes to, a giant geological formation, as you'll see here. But still, I'm sure they're going to like to get there. Hundreds of billions of years, and, that kind of stuff. But anyway, I like to just check out the Wikipedia. It's always pretty decent just to see what they got to say there, eh? For this Percé Rock. Percé Rock, or in French, Rocher Percé, literally means pierced rock. It's a huge sheer rock formation in the Gulf of the St. Lawrence on the tip, just the tip, of the Gaspé Peninsula in Quebec, Canada, off Percé Bay. Percé Rock appears from a distance like a ship under sail. There it is there. Does not really look like a ship to me, but okay. If you want to tell me that that's what it looks like when I look at it, then sure, you're free to do so. That's not what I'm saying, but we'll get into that. It's one of the world's largest natural arches located in water and is considered a geologically and historically rich natural icon of Quebec. What's a natural arch, you might ask? Oh, there it is. Landform where an arch has formed with an opening underneath. Inland cliffs, coastal cliffs, fins, or stacks are subject to erosion from the sea, rivers, or weathering from winds, yada, yada, yada. So there it is there. And in case you're wondering, where did you say? Well, here's Quebec. There's Newfoundland here. There's Labrador, right? So Quebec is here. And it's right in just in the Gaspé Peninsula, just the tip. You hear me? Just the tip. Just for a second. Just to see how it feels.
I wet my jockeys here.
Anyway. Speaking of New Brunswick, there it is right there, eh? And there's Prince Edward Island, and there's Nova Scotia. Anyway. So the massive rocky cliff is called by several names. Why? I don't know. As Le Rocher Percé, Pierced Rock, Pierced Island, Split Rock, or Percé Rock. Well, when I was a kid, in my circles, we knew it as Percé Rock. We even anglophonicized the accent. We didn't say Percé. We say Percé Rock. Percé Rock. That's how we used to say it. The name is attributed to the pierced rock that formed an arch 15 meters or roughly 50 feet high on its seaward southern end, as though a needle had cut through the rock. It was named Percé, Pierced Rock, by Samuel de Champlain in 1607, in reference to the holes he had seen in the massive block of limestone, which over the years has become a major attraction in the province of Quebec. Yes, the Champlain guy. He'll be coming up again and again. He's come up in the past on the channel. He's one of those guys that they like to rubber stamp attributions. They attribute like 15 different things that he did. Oh, he also did this. Oh, yeah, he discovered that too. Oh, yeah, that river? Yeah, Champlain found that river there. That lake? Yeah, that's Champlain too there, bud. And you're like, geez, this guy was busy, man. Legend, Percé Rock, described as the monstrous giant pierced through by an immense eye, now green, now gray, now blue or violet, according to the moods of the sea. It's linked in legend to a young man of a noble French family. Okay. Another version of the legend, which also narrated by local people of Percé town, is that they see the rock in the shape of a phantom during storms, and hence call it le Ginet de Île Percé. This, however, could be interpreted to mean that the vapory clouds that engulf the vast flocks of waterfowl could give such an impression when viewed from a distance. What are you talking about? That doesn't... What?
That doesn't make sense.
By the way, le Ginet de Île Percé, as you would guess, this doesn't mean phantom or ghost. It means genie. And I don't know where you're from, but where I'm from, phantoms and genies and ghosts and ghouls and goblins, these are all different things. So I don't know why they're calling it a phantom. And I don't know where they would have got the idea, where the local legends would have gotten the term genie from. But anyway. Then it gets into the geography, where it's located and what it's made out of. It's a national park. There's whales that hang out there, birds and puffins and whatnot. Percé Rock is a massive siliceous limestone stack formation. Siliceous limestone stack. That's real easy to say. Howdy, Wiley. Thanks for shooting in there, bud. Anyways, with sandstone and siltstone veins. Just the tip. With steep rock faces on all sides. It is 433 meters, or just over 1,400 feet long, 90 meters, or 300 feet wide, and 88 meters, or 290 feet high at its highest point. It's described as a narrow bluff emerging from the sea, resembling a beached supertanker from some angles. For 4 hours at a time during low tide, the water recedes from a wide split that allows the rock itself to be visited. Yeah, you can go and just check her out there. Just take a little heel toe it. So huge limestone formation is geologically dated to the Devonian period of more than 4 million years ago. However, Percé Rock is only a small component of the large areas of Devonian rocks that occupy the interior that were first mapped in 1844 by Sir William Edmund Logan. Who's that guy? Canadian-born geologist and the founder of the first director of the Geological Survey of Canada. Well, what do you know? Looks like a kook. Look at that beard. There's a striking resemblance to Alexander Graham Bell, who's also a Canadian. Known as the father of Canadian geology. Oh, there you go. Fossils in such rocks show a variety of animal and plant communities from both terrestrial and marine habitats. Anemone. From the Devonian period. Percé Rock contains 150 species of different fossils, such as brachiopods, them things, tribulites, dalmanites, corals, there we go, marine worms. Oh, look out, that's gross. From the Devonian period. Back then, apparently. Yeah, sure. Yeah, they just know this. Totally know this. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Trappist Bowmaster saying Champlain and Cartier are our version of Lincoln and Franklin. Yeah, kind of. Name everything after these guys, and they did a bazillion and one different things. It's like, really, they couldn't have, They wouldn't be happy with just assigning him with, yeah, he discovered like 2 things. No, it's got to be like 28 things. I understand you're going to bump into some stuff in your boats when you're sailing while you're looking for other stuff. But I mean, come on. Anyway. Originally, Percé Rock was inferred as connected to the mainland when Jacques Cartier, the first colonist, arrived here in 1534. Well, then he was butt-ass wrong. He reported 3 arches in the massive rock formation. In time, 2 of the arches disappeared, with the last one collapsing on June 17th, 1845, leaving a separated pillar. So 2 of the arches just disappeared. They just disappeared. This big, massive, just 2. So they're saying there was one here, but it collapsed. But they're saying that this guy saw 3 of them, and 2 of them have disappeared. Just disappeared. They know when one they know disappeared by collapse. All right. What about the other one? I guess it's a mystery. As mysterious as the Phantom Genie, I guess. When it was seen in 1603 by the French geographer and founder of Quebec City, Samuel de Champlain, there he is again with another thing, another notch in his belt, another patch to wear on his sash. It only had 1 arch. However, in 1760, a picture of Percé Rock drawn by an English officer, Captain Hervey Smith, showed 2 arches, one of which collapsed June 1845. They're really driving home we really want you to make sure you know now that one of them collapsed. I understand that one of them collapsed June 1845. That's great. But you mentioned that there was 3 arches. One remains. The other one collapsed in June of 1845. So what about the 3rd one that you just put as it just disappeared?
Let me ask you something. How come you asking so many jackassy questions?
I don't know. Never mind, I guess. Percé Rock's 2 large holes were cut through by the sea waves. One of the holes seen now is an arch described as Gothic Arch of Rock. Really? Okay. Which is about 15 meters or just shy of 50 feet high. A small boat can pass through the arch during high tide. Of the 2 arches, the outer arch, which collapsed in great force, and there it is again. Just in case you're stupid now, just in case there's something wrong with you, we're going to just tell you for 3rd time's a charm, 1845, remains in the form of an obelisk. Funny they use the term obelisk. In early 1900s, enchanted by the beauty of Percé Rock, travelers started visiting the area of Gaspé, Percé, and Bonaventure Island. Remember this, Gaspé, Percé Rock, a little bit misleading. So we'll come to see. So it's a major tourist attraction in Quebec, picturesque views of the rock from both Percé and nearby Bonaventure Island. French surrealist poet André Breton, 1896 to 1966, visited Gaspé in October 44, recorded his impressions of the visit in Arcanum 17, a hymn of hope, renewal, and resurrection. Okay. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. Link below for Percé Rock. Actually, let me pull that up again for just a quick second there. So there it is right here. A print of that drawing or sketch by Hervey Smith, 1760. And there you can see two little arches. So then I guess this folded down and went ba-boom. And now what remains is a quote-unquote obelisk and then this arch. Merci beaucoup, madame. Vous êtes très jolie. My French is pretty rusty. Rusty is an old bicycle, something, an old bike chain. I don't know what that means, but anyway. So let's have a look at Gaspé here, because this is where, like I said, remember, it's a little misleading, this Percé, Gaspé, Percé Rock. Because I remember as a kid, my parents talking about Percé Rock, and where's that? Well, it's in Gaspé. But Gaspé is the name of a town. But Gaspé is also the name of the peninsula. So if you go to Gaspé, the town, you're not going to see this rock. You're not going to see it at all. You're going to get all the way there. You're going to get off the bus or out of the plane or the chopper or out of your car, out of your boat, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how you got there. And you're going to look around. You're going to do the old loop-de-doo 360 and be like, okay, where's the Percé Rock, man? Where's the pierced thing? But, and they're like, oh, no, that's like a couple hundred miles away from here, buddy. This is Gaspé, Quebec. So Gaspé is a city at the tip, just the tip of the Gaspé Peninsula. It's in the region, yada yada region of Quebec, Canada. It's about 650 clicks or 400 miles northeast of Quebec City. Gaspé has a total population of 15,000 people as of 2021. Oh man, I jumped too far ahead. Sorry about that. This is amateur hour. Gaspé is where Jacques Cartier, took possession of New France, now part of Canada, in the name of Francois the First, King of France, on July 24th, 1534. So he just landed on the shores of what is today Gaspé. It said, I claim this in the name of the King Frankie of the First of France. The most common assumption is that Gaspé may come from the Mi'kmaq word Gaspég, which means land's end. Gaspé, Gaspég, sure, sounds pretty good to me. Other theories hold that the name may be a mutation of the Basque word Gaispe or Careispe, which means shelter or place of refuge. It's pretty vague, man. Any place technically could be a shelter or place of refuge. Beside a rock, in a dried up creek bed, the sunny side of a hill or mountain, you know, high ground during some doo-doo hitting the fan scenario could be a place of refuge or shelter. A cave. But Land's End, yeah, I'm pretty willing to go with that. I mean, it's just, again, right at the tip, right at the tippy tip. Just right. See how this thing comes up and it's kind of long and it kind of bends? And then there's a bit of a head here and then it's at the tip. So I could see how it could be considered the end as opposed to just shelter or refuge. But who am I to say? I'm not a Mi'kmaq. I'm not a Mi'kmaq. We got a friend of the channel here who's Mi'kmaq, but I'm not, so I don't know. But it makes sense to me. Another theory is that it's named after Portuguese explorer Gaspar Corte Real, who explored Labrador in 1500. That I highly doubt. Gaspar and Gaspé. How many Gaspars there are who are from Portugal and Spain? It's probably like Jimmy over there. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Take it easy. Take it easy, kid. Anyways, in 1600, Englishman Richard Hakluyt doesn't sound like an English name to me. Hakluyt. Anyways, he used the name Gaspé in his translation of the Cosmographie by Jean Alphonse, which became the common spelling in the early 17th century. Thereafter, many other spellings appeared, such as Gashpe, 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 Gaspe, Gaspesh, and Gapeche. Holy smokes. Can you just muddy the waters a little more, with all of this? Anyways, Gaspé claims the title of Cradle of French America because on June 24th, 1534, explorer Jacques Cartier halted in the bay after losing an anchor during a storm and claimed possession of the area by planting a wooden cross with the king's coat of arms and the sentence, Vive le roi de France, long live the king of France. Cartier met there an indigenous tribe that called the territory Hunguedo, probably a Mi'kmaq word meaning meeting place. Again, sounds pretty vague. Meeting place. Any place can be a meeting place. Over by the shade of that tree. Hey, down where there's some good fishing. I'll see you there, bud. But you get what I'm saying, Southern Ontario, Sasquatch in the box. Yep, good old Jacques. Yep. Following the Treaty of Paris 1763, British officers and soldiers acquired free land in Gaspé. I'm sure if you steal it from somebody else who's already there, then yeah, it's free. In 1784, they were joined by many loyalist settlers from good old US of A. From then on, Gaspé became an important commercial fishing center, especially of cod. In 1804, its post office opened. 1833, there was only 10 farmers in the whole county. There was whalers and shipbuilders, a blacksmith, 2 lumber merchants, 5 ship owners, 18 fish merchants. Incorporated as a village in 1855. From 1861 to 66, the port of Gaspé was a duty-free port, making shipping the primary economic activity, with 40 to 50 European ships docking annually. Many countries opened consulates in Gaspé, including Italy, United States, Brazil, Portugal, and Norway up there. By 1911, the railway reached Gaspé. Wow, it's just going gangbusters over there. But the town's ambition to become an international shipping and transportation hub ended with the growing importance of the Montreal and Halifax harbors. Darn it. They're just kicking up dirt and shucks darn. Curse that old Montreal and Halifax. During WW2, 3,000 soldiers were stationed on a naval base built at Sandy Beach to patrol the Gulf of St. Lawrence against German subs. 1959, Gaspé gained city status. Wow, it didn't become a city until 59. And then 71, it swallowed up a bunch of little towns, little New France, little towns and hamlets, right? Little country towns. Anyways, yada yada, links below for everything there. Siren in the background. Wouldn't be a live show without some sirens. Team Heat in the box. How's it going there, bud? Talking about Gaspé out there in Quebec there, bud. So the population in the year 1881, 174 people. Didn't really get much of a boom until the 1950s. Then you see it kind of boom. And then in 1971, for whatever reason. Oh, there, it's because they annexed. Right. So those little towns are now included in the population. You guys got to watch that because they jumped from 3,000 people to just over 17,000 people in 5 years. It's like, wait, what the? Hold it there. Hold it. Yeah, around 15,000 there. Can't seem to get over 16-ish, 17,000. But yeah, you're not gonna see that Percé Rock there at all. So even my parents, when I would say, "Hey, where's Percé Rock again?" It's in Gaspé. Well, it kind of. It's in the Gaspé Peninsula, but it's actually a town called Percé. Pierced. Where do you live? I live in Pierced. Ouch. Pierced what? Never mind. I don't want to know. Don't want to know. Philip I in the box. How's it going, eh? Thanks for winding down your weekend with yours truly. Kimmy's here. Hello. I mean, and again, I'm not making fun of Gaspé or Percé Rock or the people of this little city or town. It's lovely. It's lovely down there. It's a beautiful part of the country. You know that. You know, I like to beat the drum of how beauty it is up here in the Great White North there, Bod. Eh? Up in Canada, the land there, eh? Up in Canadanadia. Oh yeah, I've been to Quebec City too there, Bud. Been to Quebec City. I was born in Montreal. So for the first 10 years of Buddy's life, I was running around in Quebec there. So I'm quite familiar with Ottawa and Hull and Toronto and Montreal, and Quebec City, Percé Rock. Apparently not in Gaspé. Anyways, I'm gonna open up the Goggle Maps and show you what I mean here, because it's actually pretty far. And I'm like, wait a second, this ain't right. This ain't right. Let's see what I'm getting at here. So again, you know, you got Quebec, Labrador, Newfoundland here. There's New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia. And this here is part of Quebec too, this part. It's the south shore of the St. Lawrence Seaway / St. Lawrence River. So this is the Gaspé Peninsula right here, this long part. And just at this tip here, just right here at the, you see how it kind of comes to the top here, to this, it sort of comes to a head here. And then right at this tip, right there, is Gaspé. You see the town of Gaspé right there. Right there in the tip.
I wet my jockeys here.
Anyway, sorry. I know I'm a child, being a child. But anyways, it's Percé Rock is way down here. So if you hook yourself up with a bus ride, or you take a road trip, camping trip, I don't know, maybe from Montreal through the eastern townships, and then you come up along the shore, maybe. No, that wouldn't work because you would pass Percé Rock on your way. I guess if you cut across and come up this way, and you figure, I've got to hook myself up with a hotel or a bed and breakfast. I mean, it's Gaspé, the Rock. There'll be hotels everywhere. Yeah, you're in for a surprise. Now, mind you, Gaspé is very interesting. Get these very man-made looking shorelines and these interesting shapes along here. Another one here. And there's always some, each one of these little points has got something. This one's got a museum. The other one's got a commemorative thing we'll get to in a second. This one here's got a bridge going over it. This one here has a wildlife preserve. So you can see it's just very unusual around here, very anomalous. But this is rather interesting. This is the birthplace of Canada. Let's drop the guy down. Let's drop the little yellow guy down here just to see what we're looking at here in the town of Gaspé. These are kind of nice little wooden frame, old-timey joints, but there's a stone memorial of the wooden version that Jacques Cartier planted as he claimed this land, which I'm sure was completely uninhabited at the time. Nope, not at all. The Mi'kmaq were there and others. But anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to claim all this free land in the name of the King of France there, eh, bud? So yeah, this is apparently where Canada was born, upon the planting of that wooden cross on behalf of the French king. But yeah, if you want to see that Percé Rock, well, you got to go way down. You got to go way down. Like I said, it's way down here. The Gaspé is way up here. Gaspé's up in here. Percé Rock's way down here. So you got to come through all these other little towns to get to Percé Rock. It's in the peninsula, the Gaspé Peninsula. Because I'll tell you what, I was looking for it for like 5 minutes on here because I went to Gaspé and I started looking around. I'm like, where's the rock? I know you could see it from the town, but nope, there it is right here. So we drop the guy down just to have a peek. So apparently 3 arches, 2 disappeared, 1 they know of, they collapsed. And when was it? Come on now, don't tell me you forgot already that it was June 1845. Which would have left 2. The other one just vanished, just disappeared, which now leaves 1. But you can see there's something interesting going on here. So that's kind of unusual. Sherry Ives is here. Hello, Sherry. Howdy, howdy. Got some more arches here. Another one here. Anyway, we'll have a closer look at this thing in the second half of the show, but you could definitely see it's very unique, very unusual stone thing, structure. It's not a structure. Well, it might be a structure. I don't know. We could get into it, but so a low tide, it's joined, and you can take a little walkity-do, dip it up, just go and walk about, and there you go. So the town itself is what you would expect from the official story, the official narrative. Oh, that's interesting. Hey, look, it still has the bell in it, for pity's sake. Huh. What's going on here? Big, huge wooden frame structure here with something going on. Of course, it's a pub. But anyways, yeah, like a little fishing village. You know, kind of quaint and kind of whatever. Cute, you know. right, like right on the coast. Like there it is, right there. But it's never really been that big. But the views of that rock, man, you know, like it's just over this crest here. I mean, you'd think there would be, people would still be flocking to this place. Just find it interesting that there aren't at least I mean, there's hotels, don't get me wrong, there's hotels and B&Bs and whatnot. But I would thought that there would, you know how it is, right? Like there it is in the background. So yeah, you just, rent this room and your balcony is just, there's your view. I'm surprised, how it goes. Some big company comes along and they build some big monstrosity, but it doesn't appear to have happened. There's some modern buildings here, but they're, apartment buildings or like a little strip mall or, grocery store, gas station. But there's no big, massive monstrosity. So on one hand, I'm relieved, but on the other hand, I'm kind of surprised because that view is just spectacular. And you could take boat tours and whatever, or rent a boat because, there you go. There's your wharf and, the harbors there and whatnot. That's right. Joni Mitchell. Paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Yeah, cut down all the trees and put them in a tree museum. Charge all the people $1.50 just to see them. Joni Mitchell's Canadian too there, eh, buddy? Da Phoenix is here. Howdy. Welcome. Yeah, these guys were, they've attributed so much, as mentioned, to, a lot of these guys that it even just makes you wonder, were they real at all? Or are these just made up characters? I mean, it goes far enough back where, it gets to hard to trace them. There's no photographs. Not that, these days with AI and all that crap, it's not too hard to fudge up a photograph and say, yep, there's Jacques Cartier. But you get what I'm driving at. But yeah, just like in the US, there's certain names that pop up depending on what you're digging into. A handful of the same names keep popping up over and over and over again. And Canada's no different, just like everywhere else in the realm. You get half a dozen to 10, maybe a dozen names that keep popping up during certain periods of time. It's like, really, that guy was pretty busy, or that lady really had her hands full. There was a lot going on. It's kind of like, some town of 5,000 people or a small city of 5,000 people built, 2 dozen multi-storied masonry structures all in the same year, 1908 or, 1896. And you're like, wait, how could they? It's a slow population. And what we're told are more primitive logistics, more primitive tools. How are they doing all of this, right? And it's no different. So where are we at here? We're just coming up on the hour. So as a reminder for the show here, or if you're new, every Sunday you get the live show, like right now. Like that's what's going on right now. Every Wednesday, you get a vintage footage video. That's where I kind of scour the interwebs and look for, as much as possible, Canadian content, old film footage. The older, the better. Pre-1950s if I can. Pre-WW2 if I can. Edit that thing up with some music. Put it up. And then every Friday, boots on the ground, where I'm kicking it around some old building here in my hometown, my stomping grounds, Calgary, here in Alberta. I'm in southwestern Alberta here in Canada land, up in the Great White North there, eh? Up in Alberta, in Purdy, Alberta. So I think in a moment or two here, I'll take a mid-show break and I'll give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek vintage footage video. And because it's winter, we're going to see some winter activities. We're going to see some good old wholesome Canadian winter fun. But before we do that, again, as a reminder, links below for everything we're covered at the top half of the show. And if you haven't already, give a guy one of these. And again, thanks for winding down your weekend here with me on this Sunday fun day. Sunday, January the 12th, 2025, excuse me. -1 now. Whoa, now it's below 0. -1 Celsius. On this 100th episode, Canada's Percé Rock. So we looked a little bit at the Wikipedia for Percé Rock on the Gaspé Peninsula. We looked a little bit at the town of Gaspé. And when I was kind of poking around, by the way, I found something strange that I'd never heard of. There's a place, speaking of southern Alberta, there's a place in southern Saskatchewan, my neighbor just to the east, the province just east of me here in Alberta. And it's our favorite province on the channel to say it with me now, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. Anyway, let me share this with you just right quick here before we go on a break there, buddy. This is Roche Percé, which is French for Percé Rock, but it's down here in landlocked, no ocean to be seen for hundreds of miles or hundreds of clicks. Roche Percé, right there on the border. You see that? Roche Percé, population 75 people in 2021, is a village, really, you don't say. It's a village with 75 people, huh? In the Canadian province of Saskatchewan, within the rural municipality of Coalfields number 4 and census division number 1, yeah, blah, blah, blah. The village is near the Canada-United States border, just off Highway 39. Roche Percé is about 20 kilometers or 12 miles east of Estevan in the Souris River Valley, or Souris. Souris is French for mouse, so I don't know if it's translation from Mouse River. I'm sure the locals might call it Souris River, but anyway, either way, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're a local from somewhere close by, like Estevan, for example, in southern Saskatchewan. So it's weird because like when I think French Canadians, I don't really think like Saskatchewan isn't the first province that pops into a fella's noggin. Let's just put it that way. Somebody says, hey, Frankie, where are most French Canadians found in Canada? I'm going to say, well, the majority are found in Quebec there, Mr. Inquisitive Sir, but also in New Brunswick, Ontario, Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as peppered throughout Canada from coast to coast to coast, but for the most part in the east and in certain pockets in the east. Like Saskatchewan is not the first, like when I think Saskatchewan, it's like it's Hutterites and Mennonites and, it's Ukrainian settlers and early pioneers from the 1800s. Maybe a few Irish, Scottish, and of course British, and of course some French. But anyway, it's just very strange. So it was this early settlement here in their his story. 1872, the Boundary Commission traveled through this area while surveying the Canadian-United States border between Canada and the United States. What? To me, here's one of the stupidest, most awkward sentences ever. They traveled through this area while surveying the Canada-United States border between Canada and the United States. Oh, well, thank you for clarifying that for me. Whew. Because I was fitting to ask. I was just sitting here dying to ask where the Canada-United States border was. Like, what two countries was it between? Because I wasn't sure if it was between Canada and the United States. For all I know, it could have been between France and Belgium. So, whew, I almost looked foolish there for a second. During the 1874 March West trek of the Northwest Mounted Police, the force established its first camp, called Short Creek Camp, at this location. Short Creek is a tributary of the Souris River, and it meets the river on the west side of Roche Percé. In 1890, the federal government opened a post office serving the Roche Percé area under the name Coalfields. That sounds like an attractive name for your town. Where do you live? Coalfields. No, not where do you work. Where do you live, pal? I told you, buddy. I live at Coalfields, eh? No, you work in the coalfields, but where is your abode? Never forget it. Anyway, renamed Roche Percé in 1896, it closed. The post office closed in 1897, a year later. Man, that's bad luck for you. But reopened in 1905. Oh, okay, phew. It permanently closed in 1970. Wait, what? The post office, which is federally owned by the federal government, can't make up its mind. It keeps opening, closing, and reopening this post office.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, you can bet the Mounties have a fort there, though. I'll tell you what. Anyways, the community began being served by the Sault Line, which is a railroad line. Sault is in Sault Ste. Marie. In 1893, permitting the coal mines in the region to become operational. Roche Percé incorporated as a village January 12th, 1909. So here, now we finally get to the meat of the meat and taters in our meal here. Rock formations, finally. Roche is French for rock, so let's have it, man. La Roche Percé Provincial Historic Site is located nearby, referred to by local residents as the Rocks. Not to be confused with The Rock, which is a nickname of Newfoundland. It has a large sandstone, it has large sandstone deposits, plural, in which some caves have formed. The name of the village comes from the Métis French name of the rock formations. Métis French is one of the traditional languages of the Métis people, along with Michif and Bungi. It is the French dialect source of Michif. Another similar formation is Percé Rock in Quebec. Oh, sure. Just as a side note, this thing that's massive, this massive rock shooting out in the Atlantic Ocean, the size of an island. Oh, yeah, by the way, that's over there, too. Not to be confused with our tiny little rock arch here in Saskatchewan. Again, no offense. 142 people in 1981. 110 people in 2016. Like, there's coal mines. There's this cool rock formation. Why are there not thousands and thousands of people in this town? In the 2016 census of population, the village of Roche Percé recorded a population of 110, living in 45 of its 50 total private dwellings. There's only 50 houses in this place, man. It's crazy. Anyway. Link below for Roche Percé in Saskatchewan that has this interesting rock formations. We might as well have a peek here. We'll have a closer look. I've pulled some photographs of not only Roche Percé here in Saskatchewan, but also Percé Rock in Quebec. But yeah, it does have they call it a natural arch. I guess they would tell us, well, for this area formed by wind, because, you know, it's Saskatchewan, so there's not a lot of lakes and rivers. There's lakes in the north, but You get what I'm saying. I mean, it was touristy enough for some guy to open some stand here. This is some kind of kiosk. I don't know. You get sandwiches, lemonade, a beer. Maybe you get yourself a beer and a hot dog. I don't know what he's hawking over there. But anyways, we'll have a closer look at that, and then we're going to have a closer look at some photographs of the big Percé Rock and a little bit of the towns and villages, some old photographs as well. For the second half of the show, what do you think? Huh? What do you think? Sound good? Sound good? Get out of here, really? Trappist Boatmaster saying I'm matey. Good times. Really? Huh. I like to rock. I like it. You like it. I like to rock. Is that April Wine? I think that's April Wine, baby. You know what? I'm going to get, you know what? Guys are going to give you a twofer here. Let me, hang on a sec here now. I'm going to give you a twofer on the vintage footage here. I'm going to take a mid-show break. I'll give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek for this coming Wednesday vintage footage. Some Canadian winter fun. But actually, before that, because of the whole Jacques Cartier thing here, I'm going to give you a twofer. And let me just, I'm trying to find it here. Aha, there she is. Yes, there we go. Sorry, excuse me. Dead air, Frankie. What are you doing? Say something at least so we know you're still on the air. Anyway, excuse me. Sorry. Let me just open this up here. You know what? I always mess this up. But anyways, we got some tall ships and stuff in this vintage footage videos from about a year ago. But the song is by the Tragically Hip, Looking for a Place to Happen. And they do make mention of Jacques Cartier in the song. So I'll give you this one, and then we'll come back and I'll give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek after this one. But let me know in the chat, in the box, if you can hear the volume okay on this. Please and thank you. Nope, I don't think you can you? I think I messed that up. I always mess that up. Were you able to hear anything? No, I don't. You were no sound. See. Tell me, it's amateur hour. All right. Now you should be having some sound, I'm thinking.
I've got a job, I explore, I follow every little web. I want my life to smell like this. To find a place, ancient race, the kind you like to gamble with, yeah. Where they'd stamp on burning bags of shit. Looking for a place to help and making stops along the way. Hey. Wayward hope, where we go to ashamed to leave this masterpiece with its gallery guards and its garbage bag tray. Well, paint a scene from memory so I know who murdered me. It's a vain pursuit, but it helps me to sleep. Looking for a place to help and making stops along the way. Hey. Looking for a place to help and making stops along the way. Looking for a place to have, yeah. Making stops along the way. Hey, chocolate, right this way. Put your coat up on the bed. Hey man, you've got the real bum's eye for clothes. And come on in, sit right down. No, you're not the first to show. We've all been here since God who knows. Looking for a place to help and making stops along the way. Hey. Looking for a place to help and making stops along the way. Hey, chocolate, right this way. Oh, put your coat up on the bed. You got the real bum's eye.
All right, we're back. All right, so yeah, he makes mention of Jacques Cartier a couple of times in that track, but that's yep, that's the hip, the tragically hip. I dig the hip, man. I dig the hip. All right, so now I'm gonna take an actual mid-show break, give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek. This vintage footage will be coming up on Wednesday. And this is kind of, I guess it's close to Saskatchewan. This is in Manitoba. This is the, I believe this is the Winnipeg, what's it called? The Winnipeg Ski Club, I believe is what it's called. Let's pull it up here. Yeah, Winnipeg Ski Club. But it's you'll see. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but you'll see. The name's a little inaccurate. But anyways, this is from the 1930s. Just a short, quick one here, just about 2.5 minutes long. Again, from the 1930s, Winnipeg Ski Club. Take a peek at this, and we'll see you on the other side of about 2.5 minutes. All right? Stick around. I'll be right back. Cheers. About a hell of a All right, and we are back. Hi, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. And welcome back to the live show, New West Reset Live, episode 100 here today. Wow. The centennial episode here on this Sunday, January the 12th, 2025. A quarter past the hour here, quarter past 6 p.m. local time. That's mountain time out here in southern Alberta. Here coming to you live from the New West studios. Yeah, sure. Yeah, there you go. Here in Calgary, up in Canada land, eh? So thanks for winding down your weekend here with me on this Sunday Fun Day. If you haven't already, consider giving a guy one of these. You know, it just helps to push me out into the thing. Thanks to everybody who's already shared and subscribed. A big thank you as well to everyone who's watching this after the live. Appreciate your support. Again, a big howdy and a tip of the hat to everybody over on the HooTubes and on the Bumble. So thanks for joining me here. So yeah, the Winnipeg Ski Club, kind of vague. Winnipeg Ski Jump and Try Not to Die Club. Wow, try not to delete yourself on the ski jump. That's not, they weren't training for the Olympics or nothing. No, these weren't professionals. This is just a club. It's just a bunch of fellas and ladies just strapping on the skis, waxing them up, and off they go. Off they go. No, just for fun. That's what we do up here in Canada, don't you know? Sure, every Sunday after church. By the way, did you see when the angle switched to where they were landing? There's a couple of little kids standing off in the corner. The one kid, every time he'd raise his arms, it was like he was putting a curse or a hex on the people that were doing the jump, and they'd wipe out and bail severely. Every time. Thank you very much, Scott. Scott Pike in the box, 100. Congratulations, Frankie. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, no kidding, right? Wiley's here. He says my knees would die. Yeah, that's a good knee deleter. That thing is. Kathy Broughton is here. Good to see you. Trampus Bowmaster's in the box. Vaughn is here as well. Hippie Shake. Thank you very much for sharing all the links and for keeping an eye on things here for us. Appreciate it. Mighty Mouse is in the box from over on the Bumble. Good to see you. Oh no, you just missed a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's good to see you. WAP Artist in the box. Howdy. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Lost and Found History Rewritten. Excuse me. This is a great show so far. Thank you. That's right, Scott Pike. The good old WSC, Winnipeg Ski Club. So thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Cousin Vinny over here. Wouldn't that be something, Scott Pike? Tripwire? Maybe. Oh, for sure. Eh? There's actually, you know what? I can't think of a province that doesn't have some form of ski. Maybe PEI, Prince Edward Islands, just because it's so small. Prince Edward Island's kind of small. But I bet you even they have something, even if it's just like the Bunny Hills or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Newfoundland and Labrador do. Quebec, definitely. Ontario, for sure. But Manitoba, yup. Even Saskatchewan, and people think flat earth is a flat earth pancake. No, they got skiing there too, bud. Of course, here in Purdy, Alberta, because we got them there Rocky Mountains there, eh? So you can't swing a dead gopher without hitting a ski hill somewhere around here. And then BC, forget about it too, right? Come on. Yeah, see New Brunswick for sure there, eh, bud? Once is inspiring. I'm building a ski jump. Yeah, it's like a drive up to the mountains with some 2x4s, some bag of nails, a hammer, a couple of buddies, a case of the old wobbly pops, maybe a couple of pepperoni pizzas. Hell, whack that thing up in a weekend, right? Down there in Australia, down under. Because apparently it's the penal colony, bunch of criminals. So, even though these criminals were whacking up massive masonry structures early in the timeline down there too, but hey, that's a whole other. I'll leave that to you experts from down under there. How weird. It's just weird. Crikey, it's weird. You know what I'm saying? I know. That's a terrible accent. I'm sorry. Yeah, artisan criminals. There's blue collar crime and white collar crime, right? You guys were the white collar variety, cat burglars, stealing Pink Panther diamonds and paintings and statues, and apparently studying how to carve said statues and how to build exquisite buildings like the museums that these statues were formerly housed in, Anyway, what do you say we look at some old pictures? Got some pictures here from, of Percé Rock and of Percé Rocher, and some interesting buildings in the town of Gaspé, being that it's much larger than the town of Percé. Percé, Gaspé, Percé Rock. It's like a weird mental trick. Not a tongue twister, but it sounds like gibberish. It sounds like French-Canadian gibberish. Anyway, let's see what we're looking at here. We're goofing around. Let's get this thing out of here. All right. Well, and that too, right? They like to play with the words and the languages. Many would say, yes, spellcasting. So this is Percé Rock, the big one that's off the East Coast. And this is a pretty nice high-res shot. So I can zoom in pretty good there, eh? So I guess at high tide, you can just put your boat right through there. It's fine. Don't worry about the fact that the other one collapsed suddenly. Don't worry about that. Just put your boat through there, bud. It's fine. So they say there's only one arch left, but you can see here again, there's some kind of tunnel here, some kind of interesting vertical thing going on there. There's weird stuff here. It's just very unusual. What are your thoughts? You let me know in the box. And again, low tide, this, it's more exposed. There's actually on an island. So you can actually walk around it, walk through it, go and touch it. You know what I'm saying? Wiley in the box saying melted bridge or building type thing. Yeah, perhaps looking kind of bricky. Scott Pike saying looks like brick. Yeah, brick or stone, maybe. Maybe not necessarily when I say stone, not necessarily natural stone, but carved stone, carved and stacked stone. There's just some, let's just say some unusual and interesting anomalies. And this is actually from a sharp angle. This isn't looking at it completely broadside on. Interesting how this is a completely different color than this one. But they were supposedly connected by one that collapsed. When was that again? When did that collapse again? Now if you tell me that you've forgotten, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Vaughn's thinking it was a castle. Yeah, could be. I mean, if there's openings within here, makes one wonder. Some kind of structure, perhaps. Kathy, 18-something. 18-something ain't gonna cut it now. There's to give you a perspective of just how gargantuan. I don't get to say that often. Gargantuan this thing is. Because, these are rather large estate homes. Yeah, this is a good-sized 2-story family home. Main floor, maybe 800,000 square feet. Second floor, 800 to maybe 1,000 square feet. I mean, these places are large. You can see they're on big plots of land. They're ranches or estate homes of some kind. But even with these, generous-sized homes here, they're dwarfed by this thing. Yes, ginormous. 1845, by the way. You all get an F. All of you. I can't believe that you didn't remember that it was 1845. That's an F. That's a fail. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
oh, shit!
Well, I tried to tell you. You can see here there's an opening. Here that looks like maybe there's an arch or an opening. And by opening, I mean maybe used to be an opening, but has been closed off or has partially collapsed in or has been purposely, closed off. But here's something here. Here's another one here. Like this thing's lousy with them. Another one here, maybe. One here. The big one is here. The Gothic arch, they call it. And then apparently there was one here. And then I'm guessing that there must have been the third one that we still haven't solved that riddle. I'm guessing was here. Now, I've heard a few channels talk about a theory of masonry ships, whether it be concrete or cement ships or some kind of brick vessel even. And this would certainly lend itself to hints of that shape. It's got sort of a pointed bow here where it's kind of raised up almost to a tip. Again with the tip, but you know what I'm saying? Like a ship's hull. And then it kind of sweeps downwards and then it comes back up. And is potentially, or at least here, looks more squared off at the stern. But I don't know. Yeah, this one here, Trampus, the furthest out looks like a lighthouse. Yeah, that's what they're calling the obelisk in quotations. Vaughn says, I'll bet it's full of caves and tunnels and corridors. Yeah, me too. So this is that one in Saskatchewan land. This is Roche Percé, excuse me. Not nearly as big in size, but still very impressive. Definitely some oddities going on here. And mind you, they say this is a different type of stone, and there's more than one outcropping. There's actually a few separate outcroppings all in a row. So this, for example, is one little grouping, and then further along, there's other groupings like these ones. So a lot of them have what appear to be stacked rocks or stones, or arches or tunnels, or both. Very interesting going on here, maybe. Under here too, perhaps. You can see this semicircular. It looks, I hesitate to say perfect arch. I can't quite call it a perfect arch because this tree branch is blocking some of my view. But close to perfect arch. And then something interesting here too. So just very, very unusual, very interesting. Impressive enough. So you can see here, there's one outcropping, then this one, and then there's another one. And then there's others to the right of these as well. But I mean, interesting enough for big groups of people to gather, you know, as we saw at the top half of the show, somebody opened like a little concession stand or kiosk or something there where people could get food and refreshments, buy your, I don't know, your Roche Percé t-shirt. I don't know. You got all these people here and you got one jalopy. Really, really early image, again, of that Roche Percé or pierced rock in Saskatchewan. Not to be confused with Percé Rock, the pierced rock here off the east coast of Quebec. So this is from the other angle. We've been sort of looking at it from this angle. And again, not quite the full broadside, but you can see from these little fishing boats here just how huge this thing is. And if this piece fell off, where did it go? You know, when you see big massive stones and rubble and, you know, I guess the ocean tides washed it away. It got washed. It got washed away. Again, just to give you an idea of scale. Album cover. Kind of looks like an album cover. This. That would be kind of a cool album cover. That's a good question. Trampus Bowmaster asking, wonder if it's on a ley line. To give you an idea of the tech that's going on at the time this photo was taken, by the way. Another shot. So this is from a little bit of a sharper angle now. So a little bit further down. We've kind of made our way further down this coastline, and we're closer to this outcropping here. I almost want to say like that this at one time was all connected. At least it looks that way to me. This place up here. Yeah, I mean, it could be, right? The whole area may have been a fortress connected to the coast, all destroyed, says Vaughn. Yeah. Trampus asking meltology? Oh, could be. Would be the first example of something that looks cooked out or melted that I've shown on my channel when it comes to Canadians specifically. But again, we see this all over the realm, don't we? And my theory on the melted buildings is that was from an earlier catastrophe, an earlier reset. I think for at least for what I'm seeing in my area here in, southwestern Canada, or what you might call the Pacific Northwest of the United States, I think it was a recent mud flood, like within the last couple of 100 years. I've got a project that I'm working on that's probably going to be a 3-part video. And it kind of expands a little bit more on that theory or that idea. Mark's here, our melted reality. Cheers, Frankie. Happy new whatever year it is. Yeah, that's right. So this is Gaspé Manor, Manuel de Gaspé. Photo from 1900. Just a very impressive, it's got a double dormer or 2 sort of wings. Just a very impressive estate home. There's a couple of shots of some older buildings, many of which are no longer standing, unfortunately. In that town, or I guess what is now technically a city of Gaspé. This is very interesting up here. Lots of embellishment. Looks like, sorry, it gets a little pickolated there. Sorry, buddy, but you can see the brick, stacking brick, very nice. Arched windows. Arches here too. Very interesting. See, this is what I would expect to find in the town of Percé, where this Percé Rock is. A big, huge, Victorian era or Georgian era or Edwardian era, luxury hotel. I mean, that was the thing. They're all over the place. There's railroad hotels everywhere. It just seems to go against the narrative almost, or against the grain for what I usually find when I'm digging around here in Canada for my show, or when Chris from Old World Exploration and myself are digging around together for our hideous conjoined twins show, The Knuckleheads. This is what we see. The railroad supposedly comes in and builds a big luxury hotel, or somebody's building a luxury hotel because there's some attraction or mineral hot springs or something, some point of interest, supposedly a health spa. You know what I'm saying? But really nothing like this in the town of Percé. And with all the coal mining, and we were told a railroad company went through the town of Percé, or the village of Percé, you think that would have exploded because of the rock that's right there, the coal, everything. But no, Gaspé for some reason. I guess when the railroad came through here, and with it having a harbor and a port, that was the deciding factor. But then that ends up getting shut down by, what was it, Montreal and Halifax? Look at this place, the Old Inn Hotel. What in Sam Steele is going on here? Well, who's this guy? Oh, that's the founder of the town. That's not Jacques Cartier or whatever. And who's this lady? And what is she? Why is she holding a sword? Very odd. Some unusual things going on here. It's pretty fancy for a little auberge is actually French for like a hostel or like an inn. Yeah, I guess inn. It's not really a hotel. Anyway, it's pretty fancy. A lot of difficult pain in the ass angles to do on this tri-angled roof. Roof. Anyway, kind of a cool shot. Yeah, yeah, no kidding, right, Kathy? Well, and you've seen that before fairly recently, haven't you? It does look like it's sagging, and I bet you it is, because they probably built, some jackass came along, founded this, fixed it up, and then, I'm going to put one more thing on the top, and now it's starting to sag. This is a hotel in Gaspé. Look at this fancy thing. Look what's going on here. The dome with all these sort of portal windows, but it's done as a dormer. I know it's hard to see, sorry. But then you got whatever this is. I'm guessing that's a window, hard to tell, but it's pretty fancy. Oops. And this is what I would expect to see near that big rock. Not just in this town of Gaspé. It seems like it's flip-flopped. So again, you can understand my confusion. This is a monastery and a Hospitalier of God hospital, something like that. Yeah, the l'Hôtel Dieu de Gaspé. So the Hospital of God, it's a church hospital, which could be anything, right? It could be an asylum, it could be a regular hospital. It's pretty huge, if you ask me. In this tiny little town on this Eastern Canada coastline of the Atlantic, you just want all this fancy stuff. Don't worry about the harsh weather out here. It's fine. But yeah, this is a monastery and then this supposed hospital. Could be an asylum, could be a sanitarium. This is the same thing from a different angle. The Hotel Dieu. Vaughn says, looks like a brothel. Not kidding. And Scott Pike says, just the tip, Vaughn.
I wet my jockeys here.
You behave yourself there, over there now in the box now. Yeah, very impressive. I think that's the last. Is that the last photo in the file? Yeah, that's it. It's the last photo in the file. So what are your thoughts in the chat, in the box? Until it amalgamated with a bunch of other little towns, which are miles and miles apart from each other, by the way, along these curvy country roads. This place didn't have more than 3,000 to 5,000 people. What was it, 3,200 people? Probably still the downtown, like Gaspé proper itself, probably still doesn't have much more than 3,000 or 4,000 people. But we saw that population jump when it, it amalgamated with all those other villages and hamlets and towns. Looks like this still has the bell in it. It's not bad. What are your thoughts on this place? What kind of stone foundation here, potentially? This place is just outstanding. Heck, I'd stay in a room in there, even if I was in the wrong town to go and see the big rock with the arches in it. This place, I don't know. It looks like maybe a little bit of a rowdy bunch in this place, and that I'm not so keen on the roof line there. I wish I had a better shot of this Baker's Hotel, but couldn't find anything. So yeah, there you go. That is Gaspé / Percé / Percé Rock / Roche Percé / man, oh man. I was flabbergasted when I found that pierced rock town in Saskatchewan too, and like literally right on the border. Like it's a mile from the border, not even. There's really not much going on there, but they have that interesting rock formation. But yeah, I'd never heard of it. This funny town with a French name in Saskatchewan, right on the U.S. border. That's kind of sort of named after the Percé Rock, that big, huge pierced rock out off the East Coast. That's crazy. I don't know. It's just very strange. So I think I'm getting ready to wind this thing down. But before I go, thank you, Mighty Mouse in the box on the Bumble says, I like those old photos. Yeah, I like looking at old photos too. You know, something to be said for a black and white photo. It's just got some character. It kind of puts you in the context of the time, or at least so what we're told the time was. So before I shut her down here for the evening, coming up for the channel here, boots on the ground, you're going to be seeing some snow, people. We've had some snow, and we're going to continue to have some snow. So yeah, every Friday, boots on the ground. Yeah, you're going to hear the crunch of my boots in the snow and ice for the next couple of months here. So, you know, I figured I might as well go with that theme. And so a lot of the vintage footage videos for your midweek on Wednesdays, it's going to be winter related, like we saw here tonight with the Winnipeg Ski Club / Winnipeg Daredevils Ski Jump. Try not to break your spine club. Oh, I'm thank you, Wiley. Thank you. Absolutely right, Scott. Scott Pike says snow's good for those basement windows. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mark. Mark says was late, but great picks, Frank. Yeah, just a few, you know. Sometimes it's easy to, when you get too much into it, you can easily scoop up a couple of 3 or 4 dozen photos before you know you'd be here all night. You know what I'm saying? So other stuff coming up with the channel, of course, as mentioned. Every Sunday we'll be back here for the live show. Another episode of the Knuckleheads show coming up here soon in the month of January. We're taking the show on the road. Chris at Old World Exploration and myself, yours truly, Frankie. Hey, we're going to take a wee look over in Scotland there, lad. Aye, that's right. We're going to take a quick look over there in Scotland. That's terrible. That's racist! I don't know if it counts as racist, but close enough. It's a terrible accent. I know that. And as the weather warms up, I'm going to try to organize that mudflood walkabout tour with a local Freemason who's a work buddy of mine who's quite high up in the 33 Club, so that we can get a Freemason's perspective on the history of some of the buildings that they supposedly built here in Calgary. So as we transition from winter here now, and the spring starts to move in, and then after the next few months and the weather warms up, keep your ocular sphericals locked onto the channel for that. Hit the bell for notifications that you won't get. You know, all that stuff. Sorry, that's a terrible joke. It's funny because it's true. I mentioned earlier in the show I'm working on it's probably going to end up being at least a three-parter, maybe a four-parter series on the reset here in this area. And by this area, I mean southwestern Canada and the Pacific Northwest of the United States. What was the catastrophe that kicked off what eventually led to the reset and the rolling out of the new timeline in the 1800s? But like I said, I don't want to get ahead of myself. You know, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag here now, people. But that'll be coming up as well. And of course, as the weather warms up, I could just stay outside longer. So again, as we transition from, the harshness of winter of January, February, when we get into March, April, and it starts warming up, I can do a few more of the, go and walk about mud flood, boots on the ground videos too, as opposed to just hitting one spot and then I gotta get out of here before I freeze to death. So yeah, that's what's going on. And again, links below for everything we covered tonight, as well as my location map, BitChute, Bumble, my social media over on MeWe, and as mentioned, Buddy's emails down there too. So what do we got? Have I got anything goofy here to share with you here? Anything kind of funny and goofy to share with you before we go? I think I probably do. Pretty sure I do there. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Sorry. Dead air again, Frankie. Dead air again. I think Kathy sent me this one. I'm pretty sure Kathy in the box sent me this one. There's a lot of these that I like to share for a few laughs here as we wind down the show. Often come courtesy of Kathy Broughton in the box.
Chicken shit. Bullshit. Special shit. Good shit.
Oh shit. Barbecue shit. Oh shit.
Hot shit. Ah shit. Deep shit. Hot shit. Shit load.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Hey, kudos to the guy for coming up with that. That's marketing genius right there. Marketing genius. I mean, it says it all right there. It's hot shit. Oh, this is good shit. Oh, this is special shit. And hey, if you want an assorted box that's got a couple of all the shit flavors, well, you just get this box marked, the shitload. Sometimes humans are the worst, but sometimes they're the best. Vaughn says, I need all that shit. That's good stuff. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I got one other thing here to share before we go here. Now, I don't often get political on my channel. A lot of people ask me behind the scenes, and hey, maybe behind the scenes I might, give you guys 2 cents on politics, Canadian politics, American politics over in the UK, whatnot. But I tend not to talk about it too much on the channel. But just a lot of people have asked me lately because, you know, our Prime Minister up here in Canada, up in Canada land here, he's going to be stepping down there. He's not going to be the leader anymore. So a lot of people have kind of reached out behind the scenes and said, hey, Frankie, what do you think of that? Well, I'll show you.
This is your celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate.
Because nothing says celebrate like dancing beavers. That's how we do it up in Canada, eh? Get a couple of wobbly pops, shoot off some fireworks, have a good time with some music and some dancing beavers. Oh yeah, come on, who doesn't like have you ever seen a baby beaver? It's one of the cutest things you'll ever see. But let me tell you, you encounter a full-grown beaver out in the wild. I'm talking out in the wild now. Not in your city park where there's a river and a couple of beavers have decided to be jackasses and build a dam there. No, I'm talking about those big 40, 50, 60-pound beavers. Yeah, they're not cute and cuddly. I'll just put it to you that way. They're not cute and cuddly. And with that, I think that is going to seal the deal here tonight for Frankie. New West Reset and New West Reset Live, episode 100, the Centennial, where we looked at Canada's pierced rock, Percé Rock, and some of the anomalies that surround it. Again, links below for everything we covered, as well as how you can get in touch with the fella. So once again, thank you very much for all of your support. Until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right? Cheers.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.